Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kimberly, and here on this channel, we talk about all things beauty. From makeup, skincare, hair, and perfume. If those things interest you, just keep on watching. So, today, I'm getting ready to go to work, so I thought I'd get ready with you guys again. I'm going to use the Bella Beaute Bar Arch of Color collection, and I also purchased their singles that came with it. So this is a palette that I filled with the singles that came out with this collection, and then I actually had to put 3 on this other palette I have from them as well, with some other singles I already had, just because I didn't have enough to get them all in here, to get all 15. So this has 12 and this has the other 3. And this collection is a multicolor extravaganza, if you will. So this is their Arch of Color palette. You can see it is an all matte palette, and there we go. There it is. Try not to blind you guys. So it's the all matte palette, which you can see this is, I think, their first all matte palette that's more of a rainbow take on things, and it's really pretty. And I thought, because I love color and I hadn't had such a palette from them, I would pick it up. And then, of course, like I said, these multi-chrome shimmers they have. Some of them are even split pans, which are fantastic. And I just love the colors that they chose for this collection. They are so pretty. And there we go. So I took the cover off so hopefully you can see it a little bit better. But I arranged mine just kind of on a color gradient, the way my mind works. So I have my yellow and gold ones up here, my blue, and then a green one there. And then I have my purple and kind of red orangey leaning ones down here. And then in this one, I put the pinky one, so the hot pink one, and then this split pan that has pink and white in it, and then this kind of other beautiful shade that actually has like a yellow flip to it. It's kind of an orange and yellow color, so when I turn my hand I can definitely see some of the yellow and the orange, but when I turn it this way it looks more pink. So it's a very interesting multi-chrome single. So I thought that I would do, looking at my dress, if you can see, kind of a yellowish, orange and green look today. So that's where we're going to start, and let's get started, because again, I have to go to work. So we are going to start with one of these. This is an EOS 6, and this is from Fantasy Cosmetica. And I think I'm going to start with this yellow. And this is called Golden Spain. It's a really pretty orangey, like a golden yellow color. And we're just gonna put this here. Wow, that's nice. It shows up really well. I used a base, and this is the Decibart Color Fix in Nude. And I used one that was close to my skin tone, as you can see today. So the fact that this is still showing up so well is absolutely fantastic. A little bit of fallout, not too much, just be thoughtful of that. I may tap off my brush a little bit here just to help prevent too much of that there. And I'll put that there, okay? And then I think next I'm going to grab, this is a new brand called Vignette brushes. I saw them on Instagram and I said, oh, those look pretty. We'll give those a shot. So I'm grabbing one of their brushes here. I think it's Vignette. And I think I'm going to then next go put a little bit of the Solar Flare, which is a pretty orange shade, and just kind of put that right next to that yellow, kind of like so. Tap off a little bit there. And just have that orange kind of go into that yellow shade. And these are nice. They're very pigmented. A little kick up in the pan, but not too bad. And going on very nicely there. That's pretty. And then I think I'm going to use a little bit of this darker green shade. And it's called Deep Canopy. This is really dark green. And I want to put that here on the outer V area, kind of fading into that orange. Like so. And so that's the look right there as far as the mattes. Good. And going back into that solar flare. Just make sure we don't lose that. Kind of deepen it up there. Very nice. All right. And grabbing that same brush a little bit more into the golden span shade. Just tapping that in. Not blending as much, more tapping, so I can get the pigment to kind of pop here. Still gonna use some shimmers, because we use shimmers all the time over here. But just wanted to get that laid down there. Cool. All right. And then I think, let's see, I really like how that's looking. That's nice. That's really nice. No additional product. Just a little bit more on the outer here. Very nice. I like how that looks. That is really colorful, but I love that. It's pretty. Okay, so next, I think we're going to, let's see. I think I'm gonna leave that the way that is as far as the mattes. I like it. Okay, so we're gonna get my Shine On glitter primer here. And then we're gonna put this on. I love using this. It really helps the longevity of my shimmers. So we'll just put that on there. Excellent. And then while that's getting a little bit tacky, let's take a look at some of these shimmers. So I think I'm going to use this one. The split pan has been calling my name, so I have to use this. Look at that. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful. You see the orange going into a yellow and then kind of into the white. That is so pretty. Let's see, let's swatch that out. And so you can get a good swatch there. And you see what that's looking like. You see a swatch there, and you see what that looking like. That is just so pretty. I don't know if it comes across on camera, but when I mix them all together, it almost gives like a green color when I tilt my hand this way. It flows kind of into the yellow and orange. It's really, really pretty. That's nice. Oh, I like that. And so then you also have this green split pan, and that's nice as well. And because you see the green going into kind of a blue and white, and there's also some purple. Oh, look at that. There's some purple in there. That is really, really pretty. I like that a lot. So kind of a green to purple moment. Look at that. That's really pretty. Okay. Good to know. And then let's see. Let's see about this kind of orangey shade. Yes, there you go. So look at that. Kind of a fiery orange to red. There we go. Look at that. I like that next to the green. I mean, the yellow, excuse me. It's really pretty. You can really see that shift there. It's kind of a fiery orange. Ooh, I like that. Okay. And then let's see what this gold's got for us down here. It's kind of a yellowy color, just like a pure yellow, kind of gold. And I just put that kind of on my knuckles. That's pretty too. It's kind of a orangey gold. Okay. That one's nice. So I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this one right here, and then I think I'm gonna use this yellow split pan one right here, and probably this gold one. So go that one into the gold one and to the lighter one at the end. I think that'll look pretty. Yeah, I think that'll look pretty. Looking at how it looks on my hand, so I like that. So that's pretty. So using basically these three right here. Okay, cool. All right, let's get a cracking. So first, let's get that orange shade, and I'll put that right here on the outer part since I have the orange and the green where those are meeting. That is really pretty. Just on the outer part there, like that. And then next we're gonna put that gold kind of orangey shade, that gold shade, and put that right here on over the center of the lid, kind of melding into that orange. So you can see that kind of flowing into each other. Right down just a little bit. There you go. I don't know if that helps you see that a little bit better. Turn my light down just a smidge. But there in there, you can see that shift. And then that split pan, I'll put that right here on the inner part. Like so. There we go. And now I'm just gonna get a Singe Beauty EO7 brush, kind of a flat shader, and I'm gonna use that to kind of smooth this out. Smooth out that inner shade, and then put a little bit more of the gold shade on there to kind of meld into that orangey red moment we have going on. Perfect, there we go. And then take our brush that had, and I think this was a EO8, and we had the green, no additional product, but just trying to meld the matte into the shimmer. Maybe get a little product now, just to kind of pull that together a little bit. There we go. Just so they kind of meld together. Ooh, that is so pretty. Oh my goodness, it's so sparkly. So kind of a fire on my eyes there. Right, I love that. Okay, so let me do the other eye off camera, come back, finish look, show you everything, and tell you what I think so far. So I'm back, here's the finished look. So what I ended up doing was I finished the other eye. I did use my Singe Beauty Whimsy Gloss lashes, and I actually love them. I've been using them like every day since I've gotten them. And then on the lower lash line, I just kind of used some of the same colors that I used on the upper. So I used a little bit of this color right here, which is Honey Horizon, this really pretty pale yellow shade. I used that on the inner corner, and then I used some of Golden Span, and then a little bit of Solar Flare, this orange color. And then on the outer part of the lower lash line, I used the Deep Canopy, that green shade, to kind of tie it up to the upper lid there. And so on my lips, I did use the Bella Beaute Bar lip liner, and this is in the shade Shadow. It's kind of this cool deep brown shade. And then for my lippy, I used the Bella Beaute Bar. I used this beautiful lippy that they put out with their last collection. It's kind of a green color. I thought it would be so pretty, obviously, with my green look. I'll put the name in the description box because it's too small and I can't read it right now. But it's really nice. It's a really nice lip balm. Very smooth. Goes on easily, and I think it's a really pretty combo. So wanted to have a Bella Beaute Bar shade today. I did also get from the Arch Accord, I did get the highlighter that came with this collection, and it's a really pretty rainbow highlighter. I'm hoping to using that again in a future look, but I did want to at least show it to you guys. It's really pretty. Kind of give you a little swatch here. You can kind of see all the different colors in there, and you can see that that's such a really pretty highlight. Well, maybe I'll put a little bit on, just a tad. Let's put a little bit, not too much. There we go. Oh, that's nice. And I love how it's shiny, but not overly sparkly. You can see that. It's really pretty. And it goes well with this look. I'm getting more of the top where the yellow and the orange is, which I like about that you can actually do that. You just put that on there. So there. How that shows up there. And it's a nice little subtle glow. I'm not overdoing it since I'm going to work. But I really like it. It's really pretty. Very smooth. I love the fact that it's not gritty or anything like that. Very smooth and pigmented. I can see it when I turn my face, but look, when I straight on, it's not overpowering, which is great since I'm going to work. So this is the Arch of Color collection by Bella Beaute Bar. I really like it. I think the mask performed beautifully. There is some kick up in the pan, and I had a little fallout, so just be thoughtful. You may want to do your eyes first and the rest of your face, but the wonderful quality that I expect from Bella Beaute Bar. Really excited to have a rainbow palette from them. The shimmers were awesome. They're very beautiful and stunning. I love the ones that I used. The orange one's a little bit more smooth. The gold one, a little bit more chunky, is also the yellow split pan, but when I saw this, I really wanted to get this color. So happy to have these in my collection. Enjoyed them very much. They're very pigmented, very sparkly. You can see them here. I just think they are so pretty, so pretty. And I'm really enjoying this look, and I'm excited to wear this today. So that's all for today, guys. I gotta run. I gotta go to work. I decided to show you some swatches and then do a second look with this palette. So I hope you enjoy seeing these. Hello everybody, I'm back with the second look with the Arch of Color collection by Bella Beaute Bar. And I also got the singles, as I mentioned to you earlier. So I figured I was so inspired by my first look, I said, let me go ahead and do a second one. So bonus look for you guys. I think today, if you can look at my shirt, we're going to do a blue look, or maybe a blue and purple look. So I'm really gonna dig into, I think, this blue and purple row right here. They're just some really pretty colors, and I'm excited about trying to get or use some of these. So let me get my brushes, and then we are going to get started. So I'm gonna start with this EO6. And this is from Fantasy Cosmetica. I'm gonna use that. And I think I'm gonna go into the first shade, which is gonna be Rain Wash, which is this really pretty blue shade. Let me grab my eyes here. And I'm just gonna put that here on the inner part. And whoo, she pigmented. She is pigmented, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna put that here on the inner part of the lid. Really liking that. I mean, look at that blue. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And I'm using mostly tapping motions, and I'm trying to tap off the brush a little bit so that I minimize the fallout. But just look how pigmented this is. I mean, it's just going on beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. I mean, just look at that. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Okay, cool. And then I think I'm gonna put just above that this Sky Passage, which is really pretty light blue. And I'm gonna put that just over that first one. Tap it off a little bit. And we're gonna tap to get that color. And look at that. That's pretty. Kind of also using it to just kind of blend out the edge there of that blue shade. And these two blues are pretty close in color, so not a big contrast, but I do like how it's kind of smoothing out the edges here. Yeah. Of that first blue shade. So just packing that on there. Look at that, it's pretty. I'm just packing on a little bit there. Just packing. Using tapping motions. But definitely some kick up, so be thoughtful of that. You may again want to do your eye shadow first and then your face. But okay, cool. All right, liking that. And then what I think I'm going to do is actually grab some of this kind of purpley blue shade. It's called Inky Marine. Inky Marine. I mean, just look at that. It's so pretty. And I'm gonna put that right here. Leaving a little space because I think I'm gonna put another blue shade in between that. But for now, just want to put that down like so. But I think I'm gonna put, like I said, another blue shade. So I'm gonna just kind of put that here. Like so, like that. Kind of cool. Definitely one of these trust the process looks. Cool, excellent. So we put that on there. Excellent. Nice. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna grab, and I use what is it called? Hatch B10 from Vinette. It's a new brush brand that I heard about from another person on Instagram. So I thought I would give it a shot, and I'm liking it so far. Now I'm going to use the Sonia G brush, and I think I'm going to go into maybe a little bit of this turquoise. Look at that, turquoise trail, and put that in between, like so. Just trying to use a lot of the mattes. Tap that off a little bit. Yeah, I just wanted to use as many of the mattes as I could. But performing very well. Not that I expect anything less from Bella Beaute Bar, but very pretty. Excellent. So, liking that so far. All right, and going back in with that purple shade. No additional product on the brush. Just kind of meld those together. Really pretty. All right. And then using that same brush that I had that first lighter blue shade, kind of packing that in there. Nice. Okay. All right. So now I think on the outer, I'm going to put a little bit of maybe the Abyssus blend, which is this kind of cool tone, purpley blue shade. Yeah, why not? So we'll throw that there. Trying to smoke out that outer V a little bit. Kind of like so. And same over here. And these purples are working so well. So well. And then I think because I've kind of blended that out a little bit, I'm going to grab that Vinette brush and put a little bit more of the Inky Marine. And that's that brighter purple shade, and put that back, just tapping it in because I don't want to lose that on the lid. There we go. Looks nice. And then I think I'm gonna grab, EO2. And I think I'm gonna grab a little bit of this lighter purple shade and use that there to kind of buff out that edge so it's not looking as harsh. So just a little right there. Just trying to buff it out. And this is Periwinkle Path. Periwinkle Path. And it's really pretty. So I'm just trying to buff that out just a smidge. So now that we have the mattes the way I like it, now it's time for the shimmers. We're gonna put on our Shine On Base by Cleone and Bad to the Brow. And we're gonna put that on like so. So now we're gonna take a look at some of these shimmers. And I think I'm going to use this one right here, which is just this really pretty purple. I mean, look at that. Oh, it's pretty. It's very chunky. And then I wanna use this kind of split pan. Look at that. You see you have the dark on the top and it's kind of fading into the lighter color. And I can see purple into almost a lavender. I mean, that is so pretty. And then let's take a look at this blue shade, which is more of a teal. So I can definitely see that ombre there, which is really pretty. And then just going into that top shade, which is a little pink, so that's not what we're going for today. But very pretty nonetheless. So let's do a little swatchy swatch. So we'll do that first one there. And you can really see the shifts on that one. Is so pretty. And then here's this more purpley shade. And you can see how pigmented that is. I mean, that is just stunning. And then here's the split pan shade. Wow. So those are the three swatched together. So I think for this look, I'm gonna definitely do the darker purple one, this one right here in the middle. And I think I'm gonna do the split pan shade. These are the shimmers we're gonna use. Let's get started. So I'm gonna do that purple one and that split pan one. So I think those are the two, yep. So I'm gonna put this one on the outer, the darker one, kind of fading into the purple. And just look how pretty that is. Oh, so pretty. And then I'm gonna put that split pan one on the inner part. Kind of meld them into each other. That is so pretty. That's so pretty. So now I'm gonna get a Cinch Beauty, and this is a EO1 brush. And I'm gonna use that to kind of smooth these things out just a tad. So a little bit more of that purple shade. I'm just packing that on, like so. Cleaning this up here a little bit. That one went a little bit high for me, so I'm gonna grab some of the matte shade and just use the brush. No additional product. Just trying to get that off a little bit, because that went a little higher than I wanted to. So that's cool. Cool. And then use the other side of the brush for that split pan shade and just tapping them so they mesh together. So, okay. And then for liner, I think I'm gonna grab Vanessa Marks Beauty. It's Vanessa Marks Beauty liner. It's just a nice black kind of line here. Okay. So that's it for the shimmers. Now for the lower lash line, I'm gonna grab this Ross and Ben brush. I think this is a E27. And I think I'm gonna put a little bit of this Spectrum Base, which is this really pretty lighter color, and put that right in the inner corner. Yes. And that's just to kind of brighten up the inner corner just a little bit. So this is the finished look. Sorry, my camera cut off, but wanted to let y'all see the final look. So what I did on the lower lash line is just put similar mats than what I put on the upper lash line. So I put a little bit of this one, which is Rain Wash, kind of on the inner. For the inner corner, I actually used this white Spectrum base color. And then Rain Wash, and then I put some of Turquoise Trail kind of over it because I wanted more pop. And then I put some of Navy Marine, this really pretty bluish purple, and then I faded it into Abyss Bend, this dark purple here, and I put it on the outer part of the lower lash line to tie to the upper lid. And then on my cheeks, I did go ahead and put some of the Arch of Color highlighter. And what I did was I went to this lower part right here where it had kind of the more the blue and the purple, and you can see that I think here and how pretty that is. And I love you can build it up. So for lip liner, I did use the shadow liner, so the same one that I used earlier this morning, again from Bella Beaute Bar. But for the lippy, I did change this out for the Terra Moons, and this is the shade Facial Abyss, and it's this really pretty purple shade, and I just thought it would kind of go nicely with this dark smoky eye look I have going on here. So those are the final deets. I really do enjoy this collection. The mattes are really pretty. They're very pigmented. They blended very well. So if you wanted a rainbow palette from Bella Beaute Bar, I think it's great. I also have the Blends palette from Blend Bunny. I have the original one, and I bought the remastered. And that one is also very nice too. I will say the Bella Beaute Bar, in my opinion, is a little bit more pigmented, but there is more kick up in the pans with the Bella Beaute Bar in comparison to the Blends. But I do think they're both beautiful. It just depends on what your preference is, and if you don't have one. As far as the multi-chrome shimmers, they're very nice. The ones with the split pans or the kind of the ombre look, those tend to be a little bit more smooth. Some of these other ones, like the gold one I used in my first look and this purple one, are a little bit more chunky, but they smooth on nicely, easy to blend with or put on with the brush or with the finger, but all very, very reflective, very pigmented. I mean, just look at that. So stunning, so pretty. So very much enjoyed this collection. Enjoyed the highlighter as well. Love the fact that it can make it more subtle and build it up. So hope you enjoyed both of these looks. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite, the first one or this one. So remember, have a wonderful day and live your best life. This is not a dress rehearsal. You are on stage, so make it the best performance ever. Bye, guys.